Hi everyone, welcome to another video. So remember that these are not advices, these are just general things that I've observed in my life, and so I'm just basically saying what I've experienced and what I've seen. So today I want to talk about the importance of moving on and the importance of not dwelling in the past and not letting your past judge your future or judge even the present. Understand? I just want to talk about the importance of it. Yes, it might happen that it might judge your present actually, but you don't have to dwell in it. That's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about that. So, for example, back in the days when we were still in grade 12 or in high school, a lot of people did very well. Find that people are really, really doing very well in high school. So they're the beast when it comes to the academics. When they get to the schools, they get praises and all of that. And then now they take that ego, they take that success, and then they move around with it all the way to varsity. And then when they get to varsity, they find that there are other people who are better than them in terms of academics, in terms of how they look, in terms of how they wear, the way they speak. They are completely better than them, understand? And then, but because you have the ego that back home you were the king, you were the queen, and then now when you get here, you're basically nothing, you're basically a nobody. And then you start now but then obviously you have this narcissistic behavior and your ego is up there. You think the world revolves around you, and only to find that when you get there, when you get to varsity, nobody actually cares, and there are people who are way better than you, and your ego starts getting broken. You start seeing life in a positive in a bad energy, with a negative energy. You start having negative thoughts and all of that. So I just want to talk about that. I want to talk about how important it is to always move on, whether it's a success or even a failure. You always have to move on. It's very, very important to always move on. I remember I was watching some video by Professor Pakeng, the former Vice Chancellor of Cape Town. She said, nobody will remember me about the things that I did in 2004, but I want people to remember me about, I'm paraphrasing by the way, I want people to remember me by the most recent thing that I did, which is I climbed Kilimanjaro. I don't care about the PhDs that I have, the honorary doctorates that I have. I want to talk about my recent achievement. And eventually, it means that she'll also move on from that. So once you move on from past achievements, it creates the eager, or it creates the urge to always try and achieve more instead. Not for other people, but also for yourself. You always, because you've moved on. You technically move on from things. So you always want to achieve more, you understand? So I think it is very, very important now to always not dwell in the past, whether it's a past failure and past success. So now how would quote the Bible into this? You remember like how Jesus, I don't know the verse, I think it's Isaiah 43 verse 18 to 19, somewhere there. Like I'll have to confirm, but you can also go and confirm for yourself. Like I think it's Isaiah 43 verse 18, somewhere there. Like Jesus, not Jesus, like the Bible talks about how you always need to not dwell in the past. You always need to move on. Do not dwell in the things, or do not remember the things of the past, but always look forward to the today. And then there's another verse again which talks about you don't even have to worry about tomorrow. You don't have to worry about the past. You don't have to worry about tomorrow. You always have to worry about the now. In fact, you don't even have to worry about the now. You always just have to enjoy the moment that you're in. You don't even have to worry. It's not your job to worry. You understand? So I want to talk about those things, and I just hope that each and everyone, whenever they achieve something, or whenever, especially, okay, achievements maybe, but whenever you're experiencing a failure, it is very, very important to always move on from that failure. Do not let it determine where you're going to end up, or do not let it determine your future and all of that. Even when it comes to careers, even when it comes to jobs, even when it comes to companies, even when it comes to people, you always need to be ready to move on, and you always need to not dwell in the past. How they treated you, whether it was bad or good, do not dwell in the past, because now if you dwell in the past, you're not going to achieve more, because you're always thinking you're the beast, or you're always thinking you're that failure. So your mind is going to be channeled to not achieving more. So in order to achieve more, then you always need to be ready to move on, even when it comes to relationships. For example, you had that beautiful ex that you loved and all of that, but then now you've separated, or something bad happened, because life happens. So it's always very important to always move on, so that you can even achieve greater things. You can even achieve, maybe there's someone who's better for you out there. So like everything, you always need to be prepared to always move on from it, whether it's good or bad. that's what I wanted to talk about. And again, I can attest to this by saying that, again, in the Bible, Jesus did not care about people's past. For example, Matthew was a taxman, and which was considered as a I don't want to say felony, but it was against the law. It was against the law in the Jewish world. So, but Matthew was there. So Matthew was breaking the law technically, and Jesus did not care about that. Jesus turned him into his disciples. So he did not really care about his past. We have Paul, who was Saul, who used to murder Christians, if I'm not mistaken. Also, again, these are things that you can go and confirm, but you get my point. Even Jesus did not care about people's past, and he did not care about how they will see. Peter was betrayed Jesus. You understand? Peter betrayed Jesus, but that did not stop him. Like, he did not dwell in that past. That did not stop him to even be one of the greatest disciples. So I just want to talk about that. Even if it's success or even if it's failure, do not dwell in it. Be always prepared to always go from it. Not saying that you're not acknowledging it, but be always prepared to move on. Especially when it comes to careers also. I want to talk about this. When it comes to careers or when it comes to companies, do not be afraid to move on. Do not be afraid to move on from people. Do not be afraid to detach from people, because you might not know what's out there for you. Maybe there's something even greater for you out there. Remember that the world is your oyster. You just need to keep on harvesting. You just need to keep on harvesting and fishing. There's a lot for you out there, and it's always very important to be ready to move on, so that you can also create opportunities for yourself also, and your mind be prepared to receive those opportunities. So that's what I want to talk about, honestly. And these are just things that I've observed in my life, that I think I am where I am because I was always ready to move on from people, from things, from jobs. I was always prepared to start afresh. Like, do not be afraid to start afresh, and do not be afraid to always look forward into the future. That's what I believe has been sustaining me all along. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even want to say subscribe. If you feel like this content is for you, just please do that, and also like and share. But this is really not about subscribers, and this is really not about you sharing and all of that. If you just want to see this or watch this for yourself, it's pretty cool. You don't want other people to watch it. It's pretty cool. And if you subscribe, thank you for that. I'll be uploading more videos. Ciao. Yo, what's this? Okay.